Okay, this is a meeting of Public Access Cable Committee. We're in a hybrid mode. Some public may join via Zoom or may appear in person, and one of our committee members is appearing via Zoom. So I will do a roll call, which we would normally do. So, Pete, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Faith?
Here.
Jeff? Here. And Steve Archambault said he wouldn't be able to make it for this particular meeting as he's videoing the music on the front steps here. So, before we go any further, at the last meeting, Jeff was reappointed as clerk, but he needs to actually accept the appointment. And if you don't, then we need to have another election.
I accept.
Okay, so put that in the minutes that you accepted the appointment. Then you're the clerk, then you can take the minutes.
Is that public comments?
Was that clear?
That's public comments.
It has to be at this point because it wasn't specifically on the agenda. And actually, I have some communications that we need to do in public comment. The result of what happened at the previous meeting. Jeff, one thing, if you wouldn't mind, when you put the agenda together, add communications after roll call, before public comment.
Communications?
Just communications. So if we've had emails going back and forth for whatever reason, or somebody has sent something, congratulations Pacc on what a good job they're doing, then we can share it with everybody. So just communications, if you wouldn't mind. So I had a message from Elaine Peterson from Heather, a guy called Roy Hall, yeah. Having trouble with his Comcast service, asking if Pacc could help. And the committee, I believe correctly, said, we're not in a position to help him. We have no special relationship with Comcast, and it's really not our business. So I sent him one back. Oh, it looks like I didn't copy everyone. Let me read it. It says, hi, Roy. Public Access Cable Committee does not have any specific contacts with Comcast. We are merely a customer for our upstream links for our channels. I have some comments that may help based on my own experiences with Comcast, at which point it's, as the committee had said, just me responding. Verizon does have some limited Fios in the town, but limited to landline. I have this because I'm close to the Fitchburg line. We don't have a TV service. Our contract with Comcast is not specifically exclusive to Comcast, but allows any video service provider to offer service in the town. So far, only Comcast has done this. I was on the town cable advisory committee involved with negotiations. So just trying to draw the picture for you. Typically, complaining about service is best done in writing. In any case, try to get a trouble report number so your complaints are put together. One of his problems was every time he called, it was considered a new complaint. And keep a log of your specific problems. Sorry, I can't be of more help. Me. So that was one sent to Roy. Then as a result of a message from Dave McDonald, is that right? Yes. He was bringing up a situation that they have on the sewer commission with somebody who's hard of hearing. So I sent him a letter authorized by this committee. It says, hi Dave, at Pacc's recent meeting, we selected and authorized the purchase and installation of the Nadia LD800 wireless assistive listening system to be set up in the Bellotta room. Hopefully Joe has some information on this. This will take the present audio feed used for the control room and broadcast the signal to a receiver earbud that your member can use. We will have 4 receivers. Hope this helps. I will advise when to receive and have the system set up. As a result of that, I got one from Dave that said, "Thank you, Steve. This will help not only for our commission, but will show that Pacc cares about helping deal with disabilities and that we're also addressing ADA as well. Nice job." It's me, he's really talking to the committee. If someone from the public is there and requested one, could they be allowed to use it as well? Thanks again. I couldn't really respond to that, in part because of COVID and sanitization. We have 4 receivers, so the first 4 people who need it, we can set up. But I don't know if we have or can get additional earbuds, the bit that fits over the little transmitter thing, so that we can throw them away and put a new one on someone else wants. So that'll be a question when we get to the managers. I also got one from Tom Alonso that said, "This is excellent news and go a long way to assist those who need it. Thanks to the committee for this decision." Just so you know.
Question,
Yes, sir.
how do we advertise this?
Uh,
How will people know that it exists?
Well, we'll make the committees aware, committees and boards aware.
It's more an issue, I think, for the public rather than the committee members. If there's a member of the public that has the problem, I guess we could put something on the bulletin board.
I just wondered if you want to go that extreme, put something in the ledger, because then you might have
Right.
100 of us.
I understand that. We need to understand it's only in the Bellotto. So if people are meeting like we are, or the library or any other room, we can't do it at the moment. I think I would let it take its course and see how it behaves.
Mhm.
But it's a good point. I like it.
And if someone from the public came to
Yeah.
those meetings,
Right.
they still use it, not just committee members.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, I think, what he was suggesting there. So I don't know, does the auditorium have anything? The school auditorium?
No,
No.
Shouldn't they have? Oh, sorry, that's not a question. Anyway, those are communications that I have.
I have one. A letter that Joe sent us today indicating we finally squared away our music problem. We got getting the strikes removed.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
That's great.
Given the amount of money we pay, that is great. That'll show up in the manager's report as well.
yes.
But, I had one more that I sent today. Where Donald said, "I understand you have some ideas relating to new studio space. If you would like, please feel free to attend our next meeting to be held at the studio, TC Passios, on August the 2nd at 6 o'clock. If you're available, please advise so we can ensure that space is on the agenda." I didn't hear anything back.
He wasn't available today.
Oh, it wasn't?
No,
Okay,
my wife and I wanted, doing something for a party, grabbing.
yeah.
He's helping out and he couldn't do it today.
Tomorrow.
So I know he's not available to me.
Oh, okay, yeah. So anyway, he didn't respond to me, which is what I asked for there. Anyone have any further communications? Any committee member have any public comments? The minutes, I suggest we table for the next meeting, and Jeff will make sure that they're sent out to all of us in plenty of time. Is that a good thing to say? Okay. Which point we move on to the manager's report.
Okay. You got the music vendor's response to my inquiry. I still feel like, by the way, it's Joe McLaughlin speaking. I still feel like I need to take it a step further because he said it should be okay. I don't want to start streaming Channel 8 until I know it's okay. So he said there should be no issues, but I need to take it one step further with him.
I'm not quite sure how you expect him to respond, other than if you put it back up on channel 8 and we get dinged again, then
We could try that.
then we have something to go to him with saying, you said should be, it isn't, please make it so that it is. See what I mean?
Okay, so I will go ahead and try to do try to go ahead and stream, see what happens. Okay, I will do that.
Can I see that? Just want to make sure.
That was one thing you had asked me to do last meeting. The other was to get in touch with Heather regarding meetings, and prior to the meeting, I did read her email that we are not required to have a Zoom link if we're meeting in person. We happen to because a committee member needs to come in through Zoom, and that's fine, but it's not required. So basically, she's saying each individual board and committee can conduct their meeting any way they want, fully in person, fully in Zoom, or hybrid at town hall. So that was another action item that you wanted me to find out about.
And we are set up for hybrid at the town hall.
Yes, we are.
That's good.
Yes. Let me make a note before I forget. We got 3 resignations from videographers who haven't been working with us for a while. And I needed a formal resignation in order to go forward and go out and hire 3 new videographers. So I finally got that nailed down. So Julie's on vacation this week, but we will get 3 or an ad to hire 3 videographers in next week's ledger. And also I'll discuss the production technician with her as well. So that's going to happen next week. I sent a list of Castus version 5 videos for the staff to review, because we need to migrate from version 4, which we're using a lot. I've been in contact with their head technician and trying to set up Facebook Live with the new version 5. That didn't go too well. We're going to continue to work on it. And there's just a number of other things that I'm not familiar with version 5.
Do we have version 5 or we need to download?
We have version 5, but for now they're allowing you to use version 4, but it's going to be obsolete very soon.
Yeah.
So I started Dan training on version 5 so that's all he knows. And he's been doing our daily Democracy Now! Program, downloading it from Mass Access, uploading it to Castus, scheduling it on 2 channels. He's been doing that every day.
So they can both run simultaneously, 4 and 5?
Yes.
Oh, that's an interesting
Yes,
approach.
I can
Okay.
be working on 5 and then in the URL, change it to 4, and then it'll pop into 4.
So you're cheating, is that what you're saying?
Pretty much.
I like it.
But
That's
I
really good.
requested all videographers to review the version 5.
Yeah.
They don't use it a lot, but they do have to, after they do a meeting, they do have to put metadata into the video file and file it in a committee folder for me to go ahead and schedule. So they need to be aware. So I sent that out for them to review.
So she's making ingenuity, that's all
Yeah, right. That's another expression for cheating. Right?
I did the coming up next on Castus.
Oh, yes, we talked about it.
Yep, we talked about it, and what happened was when we lost our drive
Mhm.
6 months ago, a year ago, whenever that happened, we lost a folder called C4 content. And C4 content has a lot of templates in it. And so I was following one of their videos on how to do coming up next. And it said, go into the C4 folder. And I got in touch with them and I said, I don't have a C4 folder.
Okay,
So they had to rebuild it. It took a couple of days. So that's up and running now. So I
excellent.
do have that, and I added it to, I tested it several times and I added it to at the end of the bulletins,
Mhm.
so that when the bulletins are running, that will come out. I could also put it within the schedule, you know, I'll have to take a look at,
Yeah,
you know, what's,
would it make sense it comes up at the end of each program, or is that way too much trouble?
it wouldn't be consistent.
Well, they're inconsistent lengths, right? They're not designed to fit in exactly 30-minute slots. So
Yeah, it would, I could look into that.
it just seems, that's when I would want to know what's coming up next.
Exactly.
That's why.
Exactly. Well, what I can do, instead of putting it at the end of the bulletin playlist, I can put it at the front. Because at the end of a
Oh,
program,
I like
the
it.
bulletins come on.
So this would come on for a while
So-
and then oh, I like that.
So I'll move
Cool.
coming up next
Well,
to.
that's Yankee engineering.
That's been clever.
I,
Okay. Kayla released a new episode in July. It was excellent. She did a great job editing it. It was about Hank, the comfort dog in
oh,
town.
yeah,
And about Carol Ziva Hatch, who donated stem cells to a guy that in California who was really sick. And it was an organization, I forget the name, but they talked about the organization. Anyway, she's doing very well, and that program came out good.
I got the impression she's enjoying this.
She really is, and she's very dependable and very conscientious.
I like all those words.
Right. Also, Dan Seminator at the beginning of July went to film the Wall That Heals over in Townsend. So he got the beginning of that ceremony, and then a day or two later, he recorded the remembrance ceremony. So that was really nice. And that's been playing. I did the Hickory Hills Boat Parade in July.
But it didn't have your vote in it.
No. Nope. I received the hearing devices. I will have John or Travis install.
Mhm.
I didn't give any thought to the earbuds, but I will look into getting a supply of earbuds that we can.
Yeah, if you just ask them, how do they handle, can you sanitize them or have replacement ones? Hopefully they got a solution. Everyone's COVID aware now. So.
Right. As far as the package I gave you, it's pretty thin this month. I just want to point out that I did not make 11 grand in July. But it says that there's some expenses that hit the books in July from FY21 or carried over. And I did meet with Karen today to get the right numbers, but I failed to find out where those numbers get plugged into. So I plugged it into the salaries. I will go ahead and change that. So next month it reflects in the right place.
But that includes videographers, right?
No,
Or they still
salaries
get
is myself and whoever the production technician will be. Below is the payroll videographers. So,
Oh, yeah,
and in July, the indirect costs hit. So we started, our starting balance was 865, 720. And the expenses for the month of July was 58,605. So we're looking at a balance right now of 807,114.
Okay,
Okay.
but that's open for adjustment.
The only adjustment will be where I place the expenses that came in for July.
Oh, you think they're
The-
correct,
the-
but in the wrong
The amount
place.
is correct. It's in the wrong place. I have to speak further with
Yep.
Karen. So that was that, and it is reflected on the next page, the trial balance page. There was no listing of interest, enterprise fund interest, or obviously there's no Comcast this month.
Right.
So that's pretty straightforward. The only expense in July, it probably won't hit the books till this month, was the hearing devices
Mhm.
as far as equipment. We're still, if you continue to the page with the pie charts, we are still at 71% access share downloads or programs we get from other sources is still 71% and 29% local. And this is the first month of the fiscal year, so I took off all of the programs that from FY21 that we're no longer running and just left on the ones that we are running. So in FY20, there are 34 shows that were carried over from FY21. And there's a typo there, that should be FY22. So that's not a real surprise. And the last page is just August calendar. I didn't include July because 3 weeks ago, we went through the July calendar. I did put you on for the 11th. So
I
that's
wasn't
good.
sure we could square it away
What's
like
this
that.
40B presentation?
That is in lieu of a selectman meeting. The town council is going to do a big presentation on 40B development and
Do you know what that is? It's a-
Oh,
it's a
affordable housing.
it's Housing,
But is that
it
on,
avoids a lot of regulations in the town because they meet a certain criteria for affordable. And it's like 200 units, I think that's what.
Yeah, it's a very large amount.
is it off of Howard? Or Howard Street? Is that where?
I don't know where it is.
I believe so.
All right, yeah. So my friend lives on Howard Street and the developer wanted the town to pay for the sewer to go
That's
up
right,
there, so it's the same,
Yeah,
okay.
That's that one. but-
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, first the question, how do you select the shows from other channels? Recommendations or?
Sometimes I just see what's interesting. I'm able to preview it and see if it's something that works for us.
Just curious, I've watched almost half of these,
Yeah.
and one is horrible.
Which
Oh,
Oh,
one?
really?
Reeling movie reviews,
Reeling?
reeling. movie
People love
reviews,
reeling.
Really,
Yeah,
well, maybe they should have people to speak as well.
I know. I've seen it. I've seen it.
Oh, It's unbelievable, I taught movies, and so it makes my skin crawl.
Yeah, it's a husband and wife
Yeah.
team.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah. I could always look for another movie show.
I'm sure there are, that's what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah, why
not
don't
Sis-
I?
It's not Cisco and Ebert, I mean, this.
Because I've
it's just-
seen them.
And the movies they pick are strange, they're not
Mm.
box office hits.
Yeah.
Right.
You see, it's different now when you have to stream things, I don't think they have a streamer. It's like they review films in an hour long, even old films.
Mhm.
A peculiar way of doing it.
It's a Strand Theatre in Clinton, isn't that? They have old movies.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll look into it. I do try to
I-
find things like senior type of programming that I can put on in the morning. Maybe talk shows, sort of late
I'm
in
just
the
curious, 'cause
day.
some of these, like the toy talk is great,
Yeah,
and some of these I'm fascinated by, but the movie one, I'm just.
yeah. I'm due to update Toy Talk very soon.
Yeah,
I'm,
that's-
I'm due to
that's good
update
stuff.
it. Yeah, and if you have any suggestions, on, like, I will look for another movie show, but if you have sort of some ideas of what you'd like to see, I can search the database for that. So. And that's basically all I have.
Okay, anyone have any comments or questions for Joe?
I was just wondering how the hiring process is going.
Well, the hiring process won't start until next week, because it has to be advertised in a couple of places. It'll,
Uh-huh.
the town HR has an account with Indeed, so it will go on Indeed. And then it will go in the ledger. I don't know if it's one ad or saying we need 3 or 3 separate ads. I'm not sure what they're gonna do. Hopefully it will be one ad, because I did create a purchase order for the ledger just for this reason. And then it should take another week or 2. I believe it's a 10-day requirement for advertising. So I think it's another 3 weeks out before we get any videographers, but I'm specifically targeting people that can manage the control room at town hall. It's even my videographers who are doing it now often have hiccups because there's so much to do before a meeting. There's so many moving parts. So I'm hoping that the new videographers are, will be tech savvy and able to handle multiple tasks at once.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else for Joe from anybody? Hearing none, does anyone have anything on studio space, or are we leaving that open, leave it on the agenda, so that if Dave can make it next time?
I
we'll
talked to
talk about
Dave
that.
again, he said guarantees there are grants available.
Mhm.
He's in the real estate business, so,
Mhm.
because I said that, he said that you didn't think there would be, he's absolutely.
We'll
No,
let-
I'm sure there's some. It's just not as plentiful
Oh, yeah.
unless you're a 501c3.
Right, so
Yeah.
if he's able to talk to us about that, that'll be valuable. The basic problem is we're a town department. So,
What about property that is owed back taxes that the town has taken over?
Great point.
I think there's some of that on Chase Road. I think that's why Dave was talking about Chase Road.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the businesses on there.
he's real estate knowledgeable, is he a realtor?
Bill's Splits house. one of his-
He's
Oh,
not
is
a,
he?
he's not a
He's not a
realtor.
realtor,
No,
but he's very knowledgeable about the real
okay,
estate.
he's trying to get some, I almost met him.
Because I was thinking, for example, the gas station site.
One next to the town hall.
Yeah, not far, closer to the post office.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that the soil is contaminated. That's why
Right.
they take it down. They can't get anyone to,
And isn't there like still oil or gas
Oh,
that they'll
sure.
have to remove?
that's unbelievable.
Oh, they didn't dig the entire
Place
place out.
out.
And.
Yeah,
truck-
but if there's no digging up in the area, if it's just the building is repurposed. I mean, I think as far as I know, the requirements are if you're not digging up anything or trying to sell it to someone, you don't have to remove the contaminants.
The tanks have to come out regardless. If you do that, you've got to take out the surroundings. So
Does the town own that now? I didn't know that.
I don't know if they do.
I thought they did, but I don't know.
I know Heather's working with organizations to figure out how a lot of this work can be done, but I'm not sure they actually own it.
Yeah.
Did anyone follow up on Stone Farm?
That was just a suggestion. that Dave had, because that property would be just, I understand they're selling it pretty cheap, not the building down,
Right, it's essentially the land,
right? You're just buying the land.
Okay, well, the land I
Lots.
thought was purchased by someone who lives, someone's relative who lives in my development on Stone Farm Estates.
I think I saw online, it's got like two.
No?
6
Is it?
I
dollars.
have
thousands.
someone's son,
If it was 246, I already bought it.
You get a liability with it.
but I don't know, I could be wrong. The sign, anyway, what about the store itself, that building and I mean, that would be sold separately, I would think, because there's a sign on there, real estate sign.
Yeah, I think the store itself, I saw in the paper, that's like 246,000, so.
Uh-huh.
Sounds
have that.
doable.
We don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, by the time we, yeah,
We have a whole, let's listen to Dave, see what he brings to the table. And then we also need to have a discussion that includes things, why, as a town department, should we have to buy something? Town.
Right, that's what I was saying. If the town could
that's-
buy it, or the town
We need
takes
to
it in lieu of
discuss how
taxes.
to do that, right. So, but the money we've got, if you look at how much there is, it's enough to create the environment on the inside of the building.
Right, the studio itself.
And then
Yep.
bring in all the equipment that we need to make it into our studio. And we also would prefer that the town pays utilities and clears the snow and a whole bunch of other things. So there's a huge amount to consider, but just speaking for me, not for the committee, I think it would be very handy if Dave could address all of us, put his stuff on the table, then we'll have a better picture of how to, or if to move forward, or where the roadblocks are that we need to resolve. So, everybody good with that?
Yep.
Okay, the only other thing I have on the agenda is the next meeting is September the 13th.
It's the 6th Labor Day?
Yes.
Wow, that late.
That's why we did that.
I gathered.
Yes. Everybody okay for the 13th?
Yep,
Yeah, because I think the first Monday in October is Columbus Day.
Oh, really?
So it's like back to back.
Who's
Can't be, that's the 12th.
Who's Columbus?
He's the disgraced Italian.
I was gonna wonder what you were gonna say on that one. That's why I seeded it. Okay, anyone have any other business that may reasonably be brought before this august body?
make a motion to adjourn.
A
Second? A second.
No further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That was unanimous. 13th it is. Thank you all very much.
See you then.
In August, that's